It's time that we start learning that our history and our wars have been scripted by this ridiculous code that they've been using that they believe gives them this power. And apparently, in some way, it must be working because so few people have caught on to it. I'm brand new to it myself, but there's no excuse for this to not be known and understood by the general population. Yes, it was meant for only the initiated, but how no one ever caught on to this until very recently is just unbelievable to me. Now we're going to explore a little bit, just a little bit, into the Hiroshima and Nagasaki bombings and a little bit about World War II. First thing I pulled out was that Hiroshima and Nagasaki here in this article says that there were between 129,000 and 246,000 killed. Why do you think they put these ridiculous numbers out there? I mean, surely they could be a little more precise, right? Well, that's because if you subtract it, 246, subtract 129, well, what does it equal? 117,000. And of course, that's not a mistake because you see that number in every single video I make. And just about everybody else's videos that speak on these subjects. Well, what is so significant about 117,000? You've probably seen me write this out a million times. Like the gas station. Jew owned 117. It's a metaphor for the pick or the choice or an appointed event, if you will. However you want to describe it, anyway, would make plenty of sense. Also, they are factorizations of 187. 187 is the police code for homicide. It's also the number of chapters in the Torah. So this is a very important number. Now, that's just the beginning. What we'll also notice is that the bombings on Nagasaki and Hiroshima took place on August 6 and August 9. 6/9/69. Seems like I've heard that before. Saturn, 69. How this all lines up with Saturn and Saturn worship. This is not something else that shows up. And what bombs did they drop? Well, they dropped Little Boy, which is 39, the Mirror of 93, and the number of chapters in the Old Testament. So you've got the, the number of chapters in the Torah, the number of chapters in the Old Testament. You see, they take this stuff really seriously. To code an entire war like this, and you thought they were all just in responses to actual stimuli. No, this proves that they had to have planned this way in advance. Truman, again, the word Truman, 39. Seems like we've been had, folks. Fat Boy, 93. How is this possible? I mean, even Harry Truman, the 58-degree Mason, and let's see, he's from Missouri, and Missouri is 93 as well. So he was chosen for this job because his numbers are the same as Saturn, 42 for Missouri, Saturn 42, 93. See how it all just goes together? 24, the reflection of 42 for Truman and Saturn. How is this even possible? How has this been going on for this many years? It was only 12 years after Truman's birthday that Ingersoll Lockwood wrote the book Bear and Trump. And so if they've been planning Trump's presidency for at least 116 years, at least, how long in advance did they plan Truman's presidency? Nobody even knows. Are there any not 1911s to look at? Well, yeah, there certainly are. Let's go from Harry Truman's birthday to the event of the bombing. Then we have 57. Okay, 57 like Masonic. And also the date of his birthday, 911. What are the chances of that? Like the governor of West Virginia, for instance. I haven't checked other governors, but I know he's a 911, born on the 117th day of the year. Jim Justice. And they just keep doing this. Why do you know, our elections fake? Well, some of them have to be, or not all these people would get in. How are they getting chosen like this so well? Look at the date of the bombing, August 6th, the first bombing. And see how it has 96? Remember how that summed with Saturn? 147, which I've said before is a depiction of pi. There's always pi. Pi for everybody. Pi in every single one of these codes. 33, like the 33rd degree of Mason, all in these date numerologies. It's hard to believe that we live in a world like this, but it's true, and if we don't start waking up, it's just going to keep happening. Why don't we ever learn? Why don't we ever get this better? Over the next 2 to 4 months, the acute effects of the atomic bombings killed 90 to 146,000. Well, that's 51 difference. Let's see, 40, no, that's 56. So 56 is like Washington, D.C., and to get rid of sums to 56. Well, a whole lot of people died. To get rid of sums to 56. That's the difference between these two numbers. In Hiroshima, 39 to 80. Well, 39 itself is, let's see, I think it's a murder. Murder equals 39. Now 38, pretty close. And let's get back to where it was here. Okay. 39 to 80, so the difference is 41. 80 subtract 39 is 41. And so what's the difference, or what's the significance of number 41? Well, that number is the number that shows up every time as an instrument of death. Like when Robin Williams died by a necktie. Necktie sums to 41. But also, interestingly, the word gone sums to 41. All these people were just gone, right? Words like overdose sum to 41. So that's where these numbers come from. And let's see, I haven't done much. I don't like to do a lot of things live. I like to look in advance because I'm just not quite there yet. But there's some of these things that stick out, like 509th Composite Group, well, 59, like Freemasonry, okay? So some of these things are pretty easy to see. And let's see, yeah, we already did that one. I'm sure if we get more into World War II, and this is just touching the surface a little bit, we would come up with just loads and loads and loads of information, encoded information. I'm just barely even scratching the surface. Look at that. See, I take it to the next bombing, the Hiroshima, 2,911 days from his birthday. Again, another 911. So now do you really still think that all the times we've seen all these 911s, every single decode we do, that 911 was really what they say it was? Well, thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe.